It is hot. Welcome to my temporary office back cave situation. This isn't usually the vibe that I'm going for. This is the coolest room in the house. It's also currently one of the darkest rooms. Oh God. So I've got a batch of some of my usual content, usually sits on stories, to edit and post, and I thought that was something we could do together because sharing my physical setup as well as just the digital setup, I feel like seeing things literally is quite helpful sometimes. It is for me, that's how my brain works, so I thought it might be helpful for you as well. It's the same method that I've used for years pretty much. Back when I used to do stories every single day. I obviously don't do that anymore. I still love it though. Right, so first things first, we've got this. I'm not by any means saying that you need to be starting with an actual camera, not at all. This is the Olympus Pen F. I got it years and years and years ago. This was actually one of my first real cameras. The design model is based on a classic old manual model that they used to do, but it's digital. It's excellent for straddling the visuals that I like with the lens that I like and the way I like to shoot, but also with the easily consumable content model. And also because obviously this is what I do for a living, it's part of my kind of daily practice, daily regimen. This is by no means something that I'm saying everyone should do. All of this is actually just personal preference. So, take what you like, leave the rest. I usually have this with me every single day. And then I just have an iPhone. That's another reason why I still tend to use the pen, because I really am not a fan of this model. I can't even remember which one it is. It's quite old. I'm about to get a new one though. So I think that will be changing as well soon. So that's cool. And I also have one of these. I have an external hard drive. So everything that I shoot goes straight onto the hard drive, so it's all backed up there. Let's switch over to the screen share. This is honestly so basic, but that's what works for me. And this isn't how I'd work with a client, but this is how I like to back up things every day. Obviously, if this is your part of your regular content, it's just easy to keep it simple so that you can maintain it, but also be able to go back and find certain assets that you might be looking for later on. I literally just have things by the date, and then I drop in my SD card over in the untouched folder. I'll just drop everything in there, and then I'll basically just tap through and decide what I love, what I don't love, what's coming. Oh, look how beautiful. Oh, look at that. I mean, look at that gradation. Just look. We still haven't even chatted about Moon yet, have we? We're gonna be, don't worry. I feel like that'll have to be in another video, otherwise this one will just be too long. Go through and I'll just drag different files through into the other folder. Just I've got my short list of things that I like, and then I'll pull those files up into Lightroom on desktop. You can obviously just use Lightroom on mobile. Again, because this is part of my everyday life and my work, just makes sense for me to use it on desktop. If mobile just makes sense for you, do whatever works for you. So I already pulled up a few that I've got here. Okay, so these are some of my shots. As you know, I've been shooting the garden a lot. It's just been good. Look who that is. We're currently saying Frida. Okay, so I really like some of these. That is actually, the colours in that are so vibrant. Okay, that's a video. So you can see that's I love the colours, but it's still very overexposed. And I want to be able to control the vibe. That's nice. A lot of these flowers have now gone over. So, oh, these. Okay, I like these. I'm kind of wishing I had pulled this plant up because it is actually sort of poking that flower. But it's fine. But this was shot with my Canon, and I wouldn't usually do that either. I just was enjoying the garden so much. I just felt inspired. I wanted to try and capture it. Cute. Let's just see. Wow. So here we go. Another video. Again, that was shot with the Canon and just doing some different focuses. Flowers, man. This isn't the way I do it to share with a client. This isn't anything I'm too worried about. I can just have fun with it. Basically, it don't have to be too precious, right? So let's just change that a little bit. And then what I do is I go up to the preset setting. Whoever's presets you use, whatever you use, whatever suits your aesthetic you're going for. I just feel like always starting with one or one and two, or like a group that come from a similar place. That's really good, because obviously then when those assets are sitting side by side, whether that's on a grid or your website or something like that, it means that they like live in harmony with each other, even if they do look different. So let me just have a look. And what I really like, down here are actually a few little new ones I've been playing with. They definitely need more work. That new creamy is not the one for this at all, maybe. But what's nice about them is that they can start off quite intense, but that way you've got the control, you can choose the dial. So I think, yeah, it's a Daydream one. I mean, Daydream, you know, I see, let's see, you can go up, you can go crazy, you can go back down, and it's just whatever you think, you know, looks nice. And I think for that one, let me close this down. Let's see if I use the auto straightener. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just a tiny little, I still feel like that line is a bit off. There we go. Like, I literally wouldn't do any more for that. It's just a cute picture for a story or for a background for another asset. You know, it's not a huge deal. I just really like the colours. Ooh, okay. I think one thing I always think of with cream soda is that I feel like it always looks like too much when you first hover over it, but then when you bring it back down, it just, on the right kind of shots, especially on shots with a lot of white in them, that's what I like anyway. It makes it kind of buttery. I think that's going to be a Daydream one again, actually. Or let me see. Something I've been doing with espresso is doing espresso, but bringing the shadows right the way down. But I still actually think I prefer Daydream with this one. There we go. And then what I've also been doing is just tweaking the greens at this time of year. You know, obviously we've got a lot of greens happening, and sometimes they can just not be the kind of green that you want them to be. Sometimes they can seem a bit jaundiced, and sometimes they're just too kind of Kelly green. Let's see. Yeah, that's cool. I just neutralized that a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, let me get rid of that. Yeah, I like that. No, I like that. Okay, original crop. I just love those colors. They're so pretty. Oh, there's Frida, little beautiful girl. Okay, for Frida, we want, oh, I just love, look how different like the cream soda is, that clarity to something like espresso. Just completely different. Ooh, hot shot, maybe a bit too pink though. I think we go espresso with this one, and then again, I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm also going to bring down the shadows on espresso. I just want to check the grain, because I was playing with the grain the other week and just on grain size and amount, and I feel like I'm still kind of happy with the way that they were made. The whites on Frida look a little bit crazy. If I bring down the highlights, because the whites are already quite low, so just want to try and balance that out a little bit more, just so she doesn't look too, yeah, I like that. I'm actually wondering if I check the colors. This is another reason why understanding the color mixer is just like a game changer, especially if you're shooting products. So say, for example, if you're capturing like a specific lipstick color, and like the color in the image or the content needs to match the product, especially if you're, if you're marketing it. So that is where, say, like, if you add on a preset to give the overall image or video the vibe and the feeling that you're looking for, but then it's like affected the specific product color, or if you've got a brand, you need to make sure the brand colors aren't affected, or you need to have control over those colors. This is how you do it. And it's just super, super easy. And like, you can just be playful with them, I don't actually want to do that. I want to bring those blooms slightly more over to the orange side. Yeah, I like that. those have completely self-seeded in the garden and they're just so pretty. So that's where we started, and now we're here. And like, just look by comparison how grey that looks. Obviously, yes, you can adapt your white balance and things like that depending on what you're shooting with, but this just adds so much more feeling and vibrancy to the image. I just much prefer it. So this is a great example because the actual image is actually really vibrant already. It kind of looks like it's already been treated, but I think again at this time of year when like the sun is really bright, all the foliage is in full force, you can actually see like the jaundicedness of the ferns. This is when they had just been moved from our rental and planted there and then under the heat wave. So they were already starting to die, and then the poppies are still okay in the front. So you can see like the two different colours as well. I think they are two different colours anyway, but let's go ahead. Oh, this is a black and white I've been playing with as well, actually. I don't hate it on that, but oh, that's nice with golden hour. I like the colours. Okay, so I think I'm just going to bring that down a touch, and then like I was saying again with the green, let's have a look. Obviously we've got two different kinds of green. I think I'm just going to push them back a little bit. There we go. And then let's just adjust the crop a tiny bit. Yeah, nice. Okay, now we've got this video. Let's see. I definitely want to bring down that exposure. See, okay. Just look at that. It's like night and day. So this is like, the clarity is really high because you've got all that direct sun happening. Then also you've got some desaturation happening. So like the colors aren't doing, it doesn't have it, the camera isn't capturing what this is capturing, right? Hello, darling. Mimi's here. Okay, so, oof, Daydream. I mean, like I said, Daydream is Daydream at this time of year. Okay, so let's just check. Okay, that's without and that's with. And then let's just bring down the exposure just to see what it looks like. I think I might just do a tiny bit. Oh, and again, because the shadows are so lifted in the preset, so in this sort of instance where it's like really overexposed, I might want to bring that down too. Yeah. And then in video, you can see here, there's not the same effects. You can do those sorts of effects in like other apps if it's really important to you, but you can add grain. I think that's enough, especially if you're, I don't know, like, especially if the footage is nice. Crooked back. This is like the worst setup ever. So that was shot on the Canon, and then I just like trimmed it and also compressed it because it's just for stories. And again, I'm not necessarily suggesting you do that. That's just like one of my personal like habits. I just like doing it that way. Again, like just do whatever feels right to you. I might also, sometimes when I'm like rolling through these like similar shots, I'll just copy the edit with like those little tweaks, like with the preset and then the little tweaks that I made on top, and just like pop them on and then see like where I land as well. I actually quite like that. And let's just bring the exposure a little bit up again. And it was a bit later in the day then. And again, maybe I might quite like just that, yeah, a little bit more offset. Oh, cool. Okay, I really like these ones. I was just playing around with them. I think my neighbour probably, my new neighbour was like, what is that girl doing next time? Look like I'm taking pictures in the hedge or something. Okay, so that's actually a new preset I've been I've been testing outdoor video, but I don't want to be boring, but no, it's got to be Daydream. And then I think what I want to do is I'm just want to check on those colours again, going back to the colour mixer, because I care about that blue and I care about that pink. So I think I just want to pop that blue because it did get a bit washed out in the sun. If we just go back to, yeah, it's like a bit overshadowed. And then the pink, I think I'm happy with the pinks. And then the greens, again, I might pull them back because I think they look a little bit jaundiced. Kind of leaflet jaundice, do you know what I mean? I find it really helpful to keep toggling that on and off setting as well, so that you don't get like too carried away, or you can at least like refresh the eye to like understand like what you started with and where you're headed. I think I'm going to bring back down that vibrance again. I think that was a bit too much. Okay. And just crop in a little bit. I mean, don't know what I'm doing with these shots. I'm going to copy the edit setting and then let's go straight on to the next ones. Oh yeah, that's better. And then actually let's test out. Oh, look at that with the black and white. Isn't that interesting? I still love it with the daydream. Ah, okay. We've got espresso in the mix now. Fantastic. Okay. So again, let's just check those colors. Let's actually also do that other blue. Yeah, see, if you are playing with that color mixer, just honestly pick a color and move the dial, and then you can really pinpoint like what it's affecting, and then you can get specific and like really like tailor it to what you want. And I find that I need to do that with blues, because obviously, you know, one picture with the sky in it can have two different blues in it, and same with the greens. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to copy that setting, and then I'm just going to rattle through the other ones. Obviously, I'm spending more time on this because we're doing it together, but I would really just go through this like pretty quickly. I don't want you to think it's like a laborious task, but it's definitely like a really good way to like learn just how you like things, how you want things to look and feel. Oh, okay. So you see espresso has that slight vignette. You see how it kind of goes lighter in the center compared to daydream. If I go back to espresso, it's got that softness. And I feel like maybe that works with this particular shot as well. Shot, golden hour. Nice. Okay, let's go espresso. And I think let's bring it down a touch. And then what do we want to do? Let's press play. The whole garden has just been overrun with these flowers, and honestly they're such a delight, and the butterflies, I've just been loving them. Every time I'm out there it's just butterflies everywhere. It's crazy. Considering that like in our last house there was literally no birds, there was just seagulls. Yeah, I like that. Maybe it actually needs a tiny bit. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Okay, oh, I think I want to try, I've been playing around with this black and white setting. Let's try this. I bring that exposure down. It's funny, like obviously, you know, black details on a really bright day, that can mess with your white balance and things can get blown out. Um, yeah. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if I love the shot. Like it's fine. It's fine. Maybe it's just the maybe it's just the maybe just the preset needs more work. I don't know. That's fine. That's one. So outdoor video question mark. That's a new one. I've been meaning to bring out a volume 2, but I just still use these ones like, and I launched them well over a year ago. I maybe make different tweaks with them, so it's more like a volume 1.2. I'm so used to just shooting portrait for stories and stuff. That's just like how my brain works now, but it's kind of a shame. I feel like we need to also shoot landscape tons. Okay, this is clearly a daydream moment. I feel like I feel the other ones are getting left out. But this is what I made daydream for, basically. Frolicking in the flowers. And then again, it's just or in frolicking in the garden centre, because you know we used to be metal and rock and roll and now we go to the garden centre. Okay. Oh, I had to take these pictures for my beloved friend Tracy, and She's actually my tattoo artist and she loves these. Okay. I think actually, I think I like it, but I want to bring down, yeah, that's better. And then I feel like the grain, the texture's not quite right. Let's just, yeah, I think get rid of some of that and bring back some of the texture and up the clarity a little bit more. I'm not, yeah, not loving like that kind of greige that it's doing. Let's see if I, yeah, just bump up that white. So you see what I mean? Like the presets get you like bang where you want to go, and then you can just make these tiny little adjustments to suit whatever it is you're doing. You could totally just do one from a batch and then just like copy and then paste the rest throughout and just like call it a day. My basket. You know what? I got her for £4 from a charity shop. Best buy ever. Okay, so I want that bar straightened. I think that would make it better. Let's just see what auto does. Womp womp. Let's just get back from that. That was a no. That was a great example of how sometimes it's just like, yeah, I can't do what you're asking me to do. And maybe it doesn't matter. Let's see if I can make it work. And then if not, yeah. Okay, so let's go. I think this is a bit overexposed as well, but I love the creaminess of espresso. I just feel like it looks so kind of analog. I love that. Cool. Okay, what have we got next? I think I'm going to copy that and see if this works on the next one. Totally different. Oh yeah, I like that. Let's see, though, because, okay, I thought maybe Golden Hour or Hot Shot might be a good fit, but it's still too much direct sunlight at this point. And the other thing is that they've got different, they have like slightly different blues. So again, if you're capturing the sky and things like that, you know, that's like something else to think about. I think we go Golden Hour, but again, bring it down. And let's see what it's like if we, yeah. I want it to almost look a bit like when you've got sunglasses on or your eyes are like taking in too much light. Let's bring those shadows down. See, now I don't really like what I've done with the sky. So let's see. Let's see. Let's pump the luminance. There we go. And that's back where it was. That's before and that's after. Yeah, I like it. Like, look at that. Like, that's like, yeah, it's cool. This is like, okay, now I feel something. So I'm definitely going to just copy and paste those edits because it's like the same settings. It's the same literal shot. See, now it's just so much creamier and softer. And actually, I was taking them for like garden inspiration. Oh, God. You know, you've got the catwalk, I've got the garden centre, potato, potato. Okay, and let's bring this round. What I want is for this point to be like in the centre of the image as much as possible. Again, you know, it's not a masterpiece. It's going to straighten the crop. We don't need to worry too much, but it's just personal preference. Actually, let me see if I do auto. There we go. See? Yeah, from that to this. This probably isn't the way like a professional would do it. But this is what works for me. I've been doing it for years. I just follow my eye, my intuition. Just because you've got a really expensive camera doesn't mean you know how to take a good picture. Just like how if you've got a really expensive paintbrush doesn't mean you're an amazing painter all of a sudden. So, you know, it's train this and you'll be fine no matter what thing you're using. And, you know, if you find a system that works for you and achieves the aesthetic and the results you're looking for, that's all that matters. That's just my take on it. Just look how delicious those colours are. Look flat. It's okay, you know, but it's quite flat and now it just looks rich and creamy because these are beautiful. They're both quite camera shy, so they do this like funny face when I point the camera at them. So I'm always trying. I bring the highlights down. Let's see. Yeah, it's okay. Let's just bump up that corner. Beautiful. Don't they just look immaculate on the new sofa? Oh, Okay, let's just copy that one, take it right across to Moon on that one. Yeah, gorgeous. Just look at him. So beautiful. And same again, actually, with this one. Okay, too dark. Let's just go. You know what? I'm going to start again with the espresso, but bring it down, and then I'm going to bump the exposure a bit. This table is actually always a little bit tricky. And then I think what I want to do, yeah, I want to get rid of that and bring up the clarity a little bit. I think that's just what suits the table. I don't really know why. There we go. Okay. Okay. This is a sneak peek into the living room, which is just such a mess. I love how Hot Shot, look at those pinks and peachy reds just popping. I love how it does that. And then Golden Hour, that does it very nice too. This is typically, though, the kind of lighting that I would use for either cream soda or espresso. Let me show you the cream soda. If I bring it, see there, I mean, it's nice, but I personally would bring it down. And then if we go without, and then with, I personally like that quite a lot. And then I think I might just pop the white a little bit. And then I want to check that, yeah, check the grain, check the detail. I think I prefer it with not quite so blurred out. And then let's see what the auto geometry does. Ah, perfect. Sort of. Again, it's not a work of art. Let's see without, with, yeah, better. Might bring those a little bit further down. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then I'm just definitely going to copy for the next one because it's a similar setup, but we'll see. Yeah, I like that. And then let's just go in because why not? We don't need to see where the TV was before. Oh, and then we've got just this one little, they're very special twigs, but on its own is just a random twig. So let's get rid of that. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So we're back to the flowers. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect for golden hour. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to hit go on the preset, and then I'm just going to bring the shadows down a tiny bit, just because I'm quite happy for those bits to be darker. And then I might bring in the crop just a tiny bit. There you go. Perfect. And then there's another copy edit settings. Same again. Like that a lot. And then let's take that clarity away. Don't really like that. Let's bump up the grain as well. Cool. Okay, now we've got some jewelry highlight. Anything with jewelry, I always head straight to golden hour or hot shot, just depending on like the effect that you want with the light. Let's see. I just love how it makes the jewelry pop so much. Let's see. So you see in golden hour, we've got like the shadows are greener, whereas with hot shot, there's like a pinkier undertone, which depending on the skin tone that you're capturing can be really like beautifying as well. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, I like golden hour. I think I prefer the creamy pinkness of hot shot. And then I would just go in and like do some little corrections here and there. Because it's just so easy, like why not? And again, if I was doing this for a client, I would absolutely be like highlighting and like working on all the details of the actual pieces. Okay, so our edits are ready, and then we go ahead and just select them and export them. Okay, so because I've also got some videos in there, the export settings are different. So I find I can do, if I do them separately, it's easier. And I also export as JPEG large because you never know, you might want to make it like a website banner further down the line, and then you're like, damn, I only saved it as a small JPEG. So, and then I just get them back onto my hard drive, which means that they're like backed up and secure, but it also means I can just easily airdrop them to my phone ready for posting. Does this sound like quite a lot of steps? I guess it kind of does, but honestly, the more that you practice and like hone the aesthetic that you're going for, the easier it gets. I promise you, if this is something you do want to try, but you're still very much a noob, you can totally do it. If you do have a mixture of stills and video, just group the videos together so you can export the two formats separately. It just makes it easier because that way you can select the stills as a large. And that's it. Look, now we've got this beautiful video ready to go. That's where we were before. How much nicer is that? Okay, and then we can just highlight them all, go to share, and then we just airdrop them to our phone. I feel like as a number of steps, that might have seemed like way too many. If that's the case, I would totally understand that. But honestly, I feel like I just got to a place where I was just like, this would just look so much better if I did the preset really quickly. Straight out of a mobile, untouched, is its own aesthetic. The camera, even an amazing camera, it's not human. So that's not how you're perceiving it and what I'm trying to transmit to the viewer. So that's why adding that extra layer is just like really vital. I think it might be time for another coffee. Please let me know if any of that was either like confusing or helpful, not helpful, didn't answer the question you have. Hit me up. I'm here for you, okay? Guys, it's so hot.